Hello and welcome to Mangatora 96, and today we have the review of One Piece chapter 1013 titled Big Mom's Anarchy. Wow, what a chapter! The final page really caught me off guard. I didn't expect that things would develop for the worse so quickly, especially after chapter 1010, but Oda clearly has a different idea. The other surprise that this chapter brought is kissing goodbye to Nami's power-up with Zeus, as karma struck him and he ended up the same way as his beloved Thunder Black Balls, in the belly of a sentient thundercloud. Lastly, it seems that it's finally Kid's turn to take center stage and shine in this arc, as his fight with Big Mom is about to begin. Now, let's save all that for later and start at the beginning of this week's chapter. On the cover this week we have Sanji, who is thinking on how to cook a shark who looks like Zoro, as the shark has 3 swords and a belly warmer, while the real Zoro is sleeping in the background. This was the best reader request for a cover in a long while, so a big thumbs up for Abby for making this good request. Moving on to the contents of this week's chapter, we see the aftermath of Nami's attack from last chapter, with Ulti lying on the ground and having some time to think. Ulti is thinking where she went wrong in life to end up here, being regularly electrocuted by a orange-haired, big-boobed girl, being threatened by a mentally unstable old hag, while she is a part of a crew that is led by a suicidal fish. Well, she isn't probably thinking that, but in her place I will start to question my choices that I made in life after the events of the past few hours. Moving on from this existential crisis, Usopp and Big Mom are worried for Tama's condition, while Nami is still in rage, refusing to run away and wanting to settle things with Ulti once and for all. Ulti gets up while Nami is preparing another attack. Meanwhile, in the peanut gallery of the Beast Pirates, who are trash talking, we see probably the biggest smile abomination that Oda drew to date, considering that pretty much any smile fruit is an abomination, but this one takes the top spot, as even Oda didn't want to showcase the full form of this smile user, as he is in a small panel being partially obscured by a speech bubble. I mean, I'd rather eat a faulty smile fruit than being reduced to a head of the tip of an elephant trunk. Anyway, moving on from this nightmare that is a head on an elephant trunk, Nami uses her tornado tempo. This is the first time that she used this attack since Skypiea, if I'm not mistaken, and definitely the first time that she used this attack with her new climate attack. Or they sure busting out all those old attacks that the Straw Hats haven't used in ages, but that doesn't help, as Ulti easily dodges her tornado tempo and grabs Nami so she could crush her head. But Ulti forgot one important thing, and that's that Nami isn't the only one in the vicinity that her injuring Tama pissed off, as Big Mom immediately goes for the kill, doing an epic combo attack with all her homies, Zeus excluded, resulting in a devastating attack that pierced right through Ulti, who goes down. On how this looked, Ulti should be dead with a hole in her stomach, reminiscing of one Portugas D Ace, but unlike Ace, I don't think she's dead. For one, this is One Piece we're talking about, so death outside of flashbacks is extremely rare. Secondly, this whole time those dinosaur zones were built up as being extremely tough and having extremely quick regeneration abilities, so considering all that, I don't think that Ulti is dead. Nor do I think that she is done for the remainder of this arc. This includes page 1, as those two were built up as Nami's and Usopp's opponents for this arc. If anything else, I think that being so easily defeated by Big Mom served as a way to soften those two up, so Usopp and Nami could defeat them later on without needing a power-up. That is definitely true for Nami, as now her possible power-up is seemingly gone for good. Speaking of power-ups, it's time to talk about Zeus' segment of this chapter, as Nami and Usopp are trying to get away with Tama. After Big Mom's attack, Nami notices Zeus, who is hiding with tears in his eyes after witnessing Hera combining with the other homies and Big Mom. Then we get a conversation between the homies where we learn the true motives of Prometheus for asking Big Mom for creating a new homie, and that's because Zeus is incompetent and has let Big Mom and the other homies down time and time again. This will be given as a reason, as an official statement to the public, but the real reason for Prometheus' request was because he's a horny son who just wants a girlfriend, but can't have because all his other colleagues are male. But sadly for him, his plan blew in his face as Hera immediately shot him down. Several characters have received L's in this chapter, but the biggest L by far did receive Prometheus in his attempt to get a girlfriend. While Zeus is watching in sadness and silence from a distance the shenanigans that the other homies have with each other, he notices Nami, and a sliver of hope was ignited in him that he could go back to Nami, but Nami just gives him the cold shoulder, crushing this poor little Cloud's soul again. Then finally, Big Mom notices him while Zeus has a pathetic attempt to get along with Big Mom. He's immediately shut down as his services aren't needed anymore, as Big Mom has now Hera. Then comes the irony into play, as Big Mom orders Hera to eat Zeus as to get stronger, as Big Mom herself did 6 decades ago, and that way gained the power of the Soul fruit. Well, she did it unconsciously and doesn't remember, but that doesn't change the fact that she is a cannibal. And in a similar fashion, now her homies that have parts of her own soul are partaking in cannibalism. While Hera eats Zeus, Big Mom takes Otama so she could go off and finish off Usopp and Nami, all the while ignoring Tama's pleas to stop, as the Straw Hats are her friends. Meanwhile, Zeus manages to get away from Hera and attempts a suicide attack on Big Mom so to help Nami get away. Pedro really did start a trend of characters now trying suicide attacks pretty frequently. While Zeus is on his way, he apologizes to Nami for everything and begs her for forgiveness as he tries to make amends by suicide attacking Big Mom. And this noble suicide attack from Zeus ends up going comically wrong, as Big Mom just casually grabs him, sucks his soul and gives it to Hera to consume. This was an unexpected outcome, as Zeus was alive only because of Big Mom's Dial Fruit power, so he couldn't really do anything significant to Big Mom. Maybe Zeus' suicide attack didn't go as he planned, but at least his speech made Nami forgive him, as she sends her thunder black balls so he could eat them before he is consumed by Hera. But this also doesn't go as planned, as Hera manages to eat Zeus' soul beforehand, but also it seems that she ate a couple of the thunder black balls with Zeus' soul. So this could play an important role later on, as it's possible that Zeus' soul will overpower Hera's and take control of the body, or his soul will give Hera some traits that Zeus had, like for example wanting to eat Nami's thunder black balls, which could result in Nami gaining Hera as her power-up rather than Zeus. But those are all just speculations for now. We'll see what will come of it, if Zeus will have a comeback in any form, or if he's really dead. While the cannibalism was going on, Tama had rejoined Usopp and Nami, and the three tried to get as far away as possible from Big Mom. As Big Mom tries to call Tama back, she is ignored, which prompts her to lose patience and show us another facet of her character, and that's that even if she considers someone a friend, if that friend disobeys her, she has no qualms in killing said friend immediately. So for anyone that Big Mom considers a friend, it's best for them to be just a yes man and obey everything she says, or she wouldn't have any problems in killing that friend. Big Mom readies an attack to kill Nami, Usopp and Tama, but before she hits, Napoleon is blocked by a giant metal arm, and in the next second she is slammed into the ground by a Punk Gibson as Eustace, Captain Kidd, finally arrives on the scene to have his one-on-one with Big Mom. The Beast Pirates are in shock at what just happened, while Usopp and Nami are the happiest they could be to see Kidd right now, while Big Mom gets back up annoyed at Kidd. Now finally it seems that we'll get some much needed focus on Kidd when this fight with Big Mom starts, so I hope that Law doesn't come anytime soon, as to clearly see of what material is Kidd made when he's faced with a Yonko one-on-one. I don't believe that he has what it takes to beat Big Mom one-on-one, but I want to see how he keeps up with her before Law joins him in this fight, which is inevitable. For the last scene of the chapter, we're back on the rooftop, where we see how Kaido has some monologue alone on the rooftop as he laments that Luffy got too cocky after adding a new weapon to his arsenal, as well as his mistake that he got fired up for his one-on-one with Luffy to just be disappointed in the end. While Kaido's biggest regret being that he didn't take Luffy's head, as now he hasn't any proof that he finished off Luffy, so nobody in the Alliance will believe that Luffy is down for good, as they all have the utmost faith in him. This monologue happens while we see an unconscious Luffy falling down from Onigashima, and with this shocking panel, this week's chapter ends. The first thing that shocked me is how fast this happened. I knew that Luffy wouldn't be able to beat Kaido without more help, but after chapter 1010, it seemed to me that if nothing else, he could hold his own against Kaido until Yamato arrived at the rooftop, and not lose so quickly, but apparently not, as there's still a big gap between Luffy and Kaido. Now for the problem of Luffy falling. Personally, I don't believe anybody will save him, but rather that he will fall on the ground, showcasing again his luck or fate, as the sea will be just a couple of meters away from where he lands. In chapter 1010, Onigashima was still above the sea, but between then and now some minutes have passed, so it's possible that right now Onigashima has reached mainland Wano. This scene also strongly reminds me of the conclusion of the second fight between Luffy and Crocodile, where Crocodile left the dried up Luffy to fall and left, while luck or fate smiled upon Luffy as the water hit him, saving him in the process. Something similar could play out here. It also should be said that Luffy won't be hurt from the fall, as he's rubber, and he has means to get back to Onigashima with Gear 4, so ultimately I think that Luffy will fall and that nobody will save him. Now, for what will Kaido do after he hasn't anything to do? I think that Yamato will show up, so Kaido and Yamato will have a one-on-one, as I don't see any other purpose for Kaido to do anywhere else on Onigashima. All in all, this was a great chapter of One Piece with a huge cliffhanger at the end. For the conclusion, we'll have to wait 2 weeks, as there is a break next week. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content as well as other manga content, and until next time, take care.